Have you ever heard of an event that the more you see it, the more real it feels? The story you're about to hear today isn't just an event. It's a mystery that has left the police, investigators, and even the truth itself speechless. Welcome to the suspense. Here, every word pushes open the door to the truth, and every silence hides unknown terror. And if you truly want to dive deep into these dark mysteries, then subscribe to the channel and stay with us. So, let's begin today's story. It was past midnight when Ryan, a traveling photographer, pulled into the Cedar Creek Motel in rural Texas. The neon sign flickered weakly, casting red light across the empty parking lot. He had chosen the motel because it was cheap, isolated, and supposedly historic. The front desk clerk, an older man with a tired expression, barely looked up as he handed Ryan a key. Room 7, the clerk said quietly. Don't wander after dark. Some rooms don't like company. Ryan laughed it off. He had stayed in hundreds of motels across the country. Ghost stories were for tourists. But as he stepped into room 7, the temperature dropped sharply and the faint smell of decay lingered in the air. The first few hours were normal. Ryan unpacked, charged his camera, and reviewed photos from his day's shoot. Around 2:15 a.m., he heard a soft tapping at the wall next to the bathroom. Slow, methodical. He assumed it was plumbing. Then came a whisper. Ryan. His heart skipped a beat. He paused, listening. The sound seemed to come from inside the walls themselves. He pressed his ear against the cold, peeling wallpaper. Nothing. Yet the whisper returned. Faint, but insistent. Don't leave. Unable to sleep, Ryan grabbed his camera and started filming the room. The lens captured nothing unusual, yet the temperature continued to drop. The lights flickered, and the TV switched on by itself, static, filling the screen. On the wall, a shadow appeared, shaped like a person standing still. Ryan froze. The shadow didn't move with the light. It remained perfectly still, even as he tried to track it. His fingers shook as he aimed the camera. Then, a faint tapping on the ceiling above him. 3 slow knocks, and then silence. Determined to investigate, Ryan left room 7. The hallway was dimly lit, old carpet muffling his footsteps. Room 8's door creaked open slightly. Although the room had been empty, he stepped back. At the end of the hallway, he saw it. A figure dressed in tattered, gray clothing, pale skin, and hollow eyes that seemed to absorb the light around it. It didn't walk, didn't blink. It just stared. Ryan's breath caught. When he tried to step forward, the figure vanished. No footprints, no sound, nothing. He turned back toward room 7, and the door was closed. He was certain he had left it open. Ryan returned to his room, locking the door. The camera was still recording. On the small monitor, he saw something impossible. Shadows moving independently, stretching across the walls in impossible angles. He zoomed in and froze. There, barely visible, was a pale face pressed against the window, hollow eyes staring directly at him. No one had been outside. No one could have been. Suddenly, the whispers began again, louder this time. You shouldn't be here. Leave, or join us. A lights flickered violently. A cold hand seemed to brush his arm, though he was alone. Ryan screamed and stumbled back, knocking over his chair. Gathering his courage, Ryan tried calling the front desk. The line was dead. He grabbed the key and ran out into the hallway. The motel was quiet, empty, too quiet. He could hear the faint sound of hundreds of whispers echoing from the walls, all saying his name. At the stairwell, he paused. The air was freezing, breath visible in front of him. From below, he saw hundreds of shadows moving, swarming the hallways, indistinct, shifting shapes, all facing him. He turned to run back, but the door to room 7 slammed open, and a deep, guttural laugh filled the hallway. Ryan bolted to the car. The parking lot was empty, except for his vehicle. He jumped in, engine roaring, tires spinning on the gravel. As he glanced in the rearview mirror, he froze. A pale figure appeared in the lot. Hollow eyes, tattered clothing, floating a few inches above the ground. The figure raised a hand, pointing at him. Behind it, shadows of countless others filled the parking lot, crawling out from the walls of the motel. Ryan slammed the car into gear, speeding down the dark highway. He didn't look back. The motel's neon sign flickered once, then went dark. He checked the motel the next day online. Cedar Creek Motel had burned down 15 years ago. No survivors. No explanation. Ryan still has the footage on his camera. On the last clip, before the recording ended, a pale hand pressed against the lens from the inside, and in the corner, a shadow moved slowly across the screen. It whispered, barely audible, "You're next."